statement here. You want to prove that that statement is true, then which is equal to, logically equal to the given statement P then Q. So this is a concept of types of proofs. So see, let us see one by one. First, direct proof here. So I think please make a note on. Show that the product of two odd integers is odd. Write the problem. I'll tell you one by one how it will be proved. Show that the product of two odd integers is odd. So the concept is you want to prove that product of multiplication of two odd integers is odd. So you want to assume that two odd integers here. Actually, how will you represent your odd number? We should know, you know. So the representation of odd integers, 2n plus 1. So the number n is multiplied with 2 plus 1 is a representation of odd integer. Write it down. Representation of any odd integer is 2n plus 1. So they have given two numbers. In a straight away, it is a direct proof, you know. In a straight away, we are going to consider two numbers. Let us take the two numbers are A and B. Let us take the two numbers are A and B. A can be represented by 2x plus 1. B can be represented by 2y plus 1. So multiplication of these two numbers. So A into B. So 2x plus 1 into 2y plus 1 will be getting 4xy plus 2x plus 2y plus 1. So all the numbers, no, first three terms you take, you can take 2 outside. So you'll be getting some components inside within bracket 2 into 2xy plus x plus y plus 1. So see the statement which is in the form of 2 into something. So whatever may be the within bracket, you know, we need not to worry about the within bracket, but it is in the form of 2 into something, then followed by plus 1. So again, the multiplication of A into B, which is in the form of 2 into something plus 1. So again, it shows that it is the form of odd number. So already what we have taken, x is odd number. So the form of odd number is 2, sorry, A is odd number. The form of A is 2x plus 1. Then B is again odd number. The form of B is 2y plus 1. So multiplication of these two. So A into B will be again getting 2z plus 1. Z is within bracket, whatever components you have, no, simply name it as z. So again, A into B is the form of 2z plus 1. So hence anything is multiplied by 2 plus 1 is odd number. Thus the theorem is proved. Okay. So number directly. So how it is related to direct proof? Because direct proof, I have given the statement form P then Q. So your statement is, what is P here? Two odd integers, product of two odd integers. So in a straight away, you want to consider A and B. You want to prove that the statement Q is product of two integers. So statement P, we have taken A and B as it is. We have not modified any kind of A or B here. Only whatever they have given for A, you know, whatever they have given for B, no, we have taken as it is. So A and B as the form of odd number, you know, 2x plus 1 and 2y plus 1 as it is we have taken. Then product of these two. Product of these two, again what we have got, that is your product of these two numbers, that is your Q here. So your assumptions A and B are odd integers. What we want to prove, product of these two is odd. I think can you able to actually distinguish between what is P and what is Q? Then write down here what is P, two odd integers. Okay, what is Q? Product of two odd integers. So what we want to prove, from the example, what we want to prove? The product of two odd integers is odd number, because we have taken A and B are odd integers. Using those odd integers, you are proving that your statement Q is product of two numbers. Q is true. The matter is here, you want to assume that what is P here, what is Q here, then what we want to prove here. That is the points you want to, you can able to, I think you can able to write what is P, what is Q, and what we want to prove. I think you have got my point. So see the next example. It's a contrapositive example. What is the logic we should follow here? See the definition of contrapositive. You want to take negation of Q. Please take my point. You want to take negation of Q. Using negation of Q, you want to prove that negation of P is true. See the second line. Under contrapositive, see the second line. You want to take negation of Q. Using negation of Q, you want to prove that negation of P is true. So this is what we want to do. So in direct proof, we have taken P as it is. But in indirect proof, contrapositive kind of types, you want to consider negation of Q. Then you want to prove that negation of P, which is logically equal to P then Q. Then come to the example. Write the question now. Show that for any I, J, N or integers, if I into J is equal to N, then I is less than or equal to root N, or J is less than or equal to root N. So what they have given? One condition they have given. If I into J is equal to N, then I is 2, again you want to then followed by 2 more statement expressions you have. I is less than or equal to root N, or J is less than or equal to root N. So your P is here I into J, which is equal to N. So from the question, you want to analyze that what is P, what is Q. So all the terms, you know, I, J, N are integers. So you should follow the properties of integers here. So what is P here? I into J, which is equal to N. What is Q? I is less than or equal to root N, or J is less than or equal to root N. So from the question, you can able to write what is P, what is Q. I think you have written the statement clearly. Then what is the, you want to use contrapositive method here. The way how we are convincing this statement is by using contrapositive method. So what contrapositive method says here? You want to assume that negation of Q. So see the assumption, just negative of the statement Q you want to write. So see the assumption, negative of I is less than or equal to root N. What is the negative of I is less than or equal to root N? I is greater than N. Then what is the negative of or? And is negative of or. So that followed by and, then followed by what is the negative of J is less than or equal to root N? J is greater than N. So see the assumption. Under the solution, see the assumption. Assumption is I is greater than N and J is greater than N. Why you have taken negation of Q? So since we are following contrapositive method, the procedure says about you want to consider first negation of Q. That is why we have assume the negation of the statement Q we have assumed here. So I is greater than N and J is greater than N. So what we want to prove here, negation of P you want to prove. So to prove, see the statement, to prove I into J which is not equal to N. I into J, because the statement what we given in the question, I into J which is equal to N. But negation of the P we want to consider, you know, so that I into J not equal to N we want to consider. I think you have got my point of what we want to assume here and what we want to prove here. We have assumed that negation of Q we have assumed, and negation of P we want to prove. So take the statement, the conditions we have taken as assumption, take the first component, I is greater than n. Both the sides you want to multiply by j, will be getting I into j. One by one, you actually you want to write your justification points in notes. That is why I'm telling. Both the sides you want to multiply by j. So we'll be getting I into j is greater than j root n. This is what the equation 1. So we have taken the first component multiplied by j. We have got the equation 1. So come to the second component. Second component of assumption, j is greater than n. Both the sides you want to multiply by root n. We'll get j root n is greater than root n into root n. You know that root n into root n is n. So obviously we have got the second equation, j root n greater than n. Now see the first equation and second equation. Both the sides. For first equation, your right hand side, which is equal to the left hand side of second equation. So we can combine easily, we can combine first two equations. So we can omit the middle terms. So only you want to consider the left hand of first equation and right hand of second equation. So I into j, which is greater than n. So what we want to prove, I into j not equal to n. What we have got, I into j is greater than n. So obviously it is correct, which is not equal to n. So in contradictory we have assumed, and also we have got, according to that assumption, we have got our answer as I into j, which is greater than n. So negation of q we have taken. We want to prove that negation of p is true. So this example shows that negation of q is assumption. See the assumption, negation of q we have taken. See the method, combining, after combining equation 1 and 2, negation of p we have got. So the p is I into j, which is equal to n, but after combining equation 1 and 2, we have got actually I into j not equal to n. Somebody, I think some disturbances are coming. Please, students, mute your mic. Yeah, I think I have covered contra positive kind of indirect proof. Then come to the contradictive kind of indirect proof. So actually what I already told you, this is a concept. See the concept, contradiction proof. I have explained first two proofs. The third one is contradiction. So what you want to consider? Negation of P you want to consider. Obviously, we know that negation of P is false. So you want to prove that the negation of what we have assumed, is true. So negation of P then false is, see the last line, negation of P which tends to false is true. So this is what we are going to do now with the example. Okay, show that root 2 is irrational. See the example, root 2 is irrational. Contradictive method kind of proof we are going to apply now. So negation of the given statement, only one statement they have given, root 2 is irrational, P only they have given. So straight away contradictive method we can apply. So root 2 is rational. So negation of P you want to consider. So negation of root 2 is irrational is rational. So root 2 is rational, that is your assumption, is false. Okay, this is what negation P, then false you want to assume. What you want to prove, what you have assumed, that is true. So clearly you should understand that what you want to take it as assumption and what you want to prove, because see the last line of this slide, negation of P is false. That is why root 2 is rational. See the last line. Negation of P then false. That is why we have taken root 2 is rational. So what you want to prove? What you have assumed, root 2 is rational is true. So that is why I have given the statements like first two. See the first two statements, assumption and to prove. Root 2 is rational is false. Then to prove assumption is true. So now we can apply some methods here. Rational numbers, you know that what is the property of rational number? Definitely we'll be having some common factors between two numbers. So rational, we assumed that root 2 is rational. So root 2 can be written by m dash by n dash. So which means that between m dash and n dash we have some common factors because we assumed that root 2 is rational. So that after removing common factors, or after removing common factors, root 2 is in the form of m divided by n. Again, reform the equation, m which is equal to root 2 n, m square, see the first equation, m square is equal to 2 into n square. Okay, m square equal to two numbers. So what is the relationship between these two numbers? M square, which is equal to 2 into n square. Then from the first equation, what is the common property we are seeing here? 2 into something. Actually, it is a notation for even number. So that here m is even number. So from the first equation, we can interpret that the equation m is actually even number. Then come to, so even number, you know that even number can be written as 2 into something, so that m equal to 2k. So 2k square equal to 2m square. Then we can apply some tricky technicals here. Techniques here. 4k square equal to 2 into n square, which shows that n is equation. See the equation 2, which shows that n is even number. So after removing common factors also, it provides some concepts like n is even and also m is even. Definitely there must be some common factors between two even numbers. So what we have assumed, rational numbers. So even numbers definitely will be getting some common factors. It shows that root 2 is actually rational is true. So that our assumption is true, which actually logically equal to root 2 is irrational. So this is the way you should follow. I have clearly given some examples here. I have so far types of proofs with examples I have covered. Then we'll move on to the next concept. A very, very important concept in theory of computation is inductive proof. For this case, what is the method we should follow as actually throughout TOC we should follow the proofs like only inductive proofs, but in our syllabus we have some topics, what is proof, what are all the types available. That is why we have taken proofs and types of proofs, but only we are following, we have to give more importance to only inductive proofs. So what it says is you have n number of elements. So see the actually basis step. See the basis step. P of n naught is true. So you want to prove that under this basis step, you want to prove that the least value can be given by n naught. So P of n naught is true. So this is what under basis step you want to do. Then the induction step, under this you want to assume that some up to some elements k can be greater than or equal to n naught. Up to k, the given statement is you want to assume, then you want to prove that P of k plus 1 is true. Just you write it down. Sometimes in university this question may be asked. So define inductive proof, or it is usually it's a kind of MI, mathematical induction. I think you people have studied in school days. So anyway, I'll rush off the things very fast. P of n naught is true is basis step. In induction step, what you want to assume? Up to some elements k, you want to assume. Using the assumption, you want to prove that the next element can be given by k plus 1 is true. So these two steps, it should be followed for proving your statement is true by using mathematical induction. So the very simple example we are going to now. Yeah, this is a very simple example. The series of elements 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus up to n elements. I already told you, no, up to n elements, which is equal to n into n plus 1 by 2. Using mathematical induction, show that this given statement is true. For this case, the basis element you want to consider. So what is the under basis step? You want to consider the least element. So what is the least element you have here? 1 is the least element. So using 1, the statement in right hand side, n into n plus 1 by 2, you apply 1. Instead of n, you want to apply 1. You will be getting again, obviously you will be getting 1. So the given statement is true for the least element. This is what under basis step you want to do. Then under the induction step, what you want to do? First, you want to assume that up to k elements, the given statement is true. So up to k elements, this is what your assumption or hypothesis, both are same terms here. Up to k elements, the given statement is true. So see the second point, up to k is greater than or equal to n naught, the given statement is true. So you will be getting k into k plus 1 by 2. So simply up to k elements, k into k plus 1 by 2 you will be getting. Then the next step, what you want to do? Using the assumption, you want to prove that k plus 1, for k plus 1, the given statement is true. So write it down. P of k is what is? Already we have got in assumption. P of k is k plus 1, k into k plus 1 by 2. Replace k with k plus 1. So you will be getting k plus 1. Apply the terms. Replace k with k plus 1. Okay. You will be getting the statement like 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus up to k plus 1, which is equal to 1 left hand side, 1 right hand side. Consider your left hand side. You apply the terms. You know that what is the formula for up to k. So replace up to k, k into k plus 1 by 2, then the k plus 1th term. So collect all the terms. Finally, you will be getting right hand side. So we have started from left hand side. Finally, you have got right hand side. So the method what we should follow is n naught. For n naught, you want to prove that the given statement is true. Okay, we proved. See the first point. Second point, you want to assume that up to k is true. So we have assumed. So second point, we have assumed. We have not proved. We have taken as this is what our assumption. Then come to third point. Using the second point, you want to prove that k plus 1. So apply the terms. You will be getting the formula like the fourth step, what I have given in fourth step. So you'll be getting one left hand side and one right hand side. Finally, apply the all the terms you want to apply. You will be getting it should be, you should be started with left hand side. Finally, you will be getting right hand side. This is the way you should follow for all the problems. Why I'm repeatedly telling us, actually it may be asked in university, by 6 marks. So you want to follow these procedures carefully. So first step, second step, third and fourth and so on. So another example I have given, just you take it as a homework question. 1 cube plus 2 cube plus 3 cube up to n cube, which is equal to n square by 4 into n plus 1 whole square. Then remaining questions, please take it down. These are all your homework questions. As soon as I complete the session, please try to solve all the questions, whatever I have given. And actually, end of the session, daily I'll be giving some homework questions. So try to solve all the homework questions in a regular basis. Any questions? You can unmute your mics and you can ask any questions related to proofs and mathematical induction. Guys? Gayatri?
Ma'am?
Any
Yes,
questions?
ma'am.
Any questions students have written in chat box?
Wait. Hari from Harikaran, ma'am. Question 1 and 2.
He is asking, I want to explain again question 1 and 2.
Just he replied question 1 and 2, ma'am.
Question 1 is I have explained. See the question. This is what question 1. I have explained clearly, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus up to n, which is equal to n into n plus 1 by 2. This is question number 1. This is your second example. So question number 2, 1 cube, 2 cube plus 3 cube up to n cube, which is equal to n square by 4 into n plus 1 whole square. So the remaining questions are 1 plus 3 plus 5. I will give some tips here. See the last question. Usually your series, will be started with I equal to 1 to n. Usually it will be started with 1, but see the last question. It is started with 7. So under your basis step, you want to consider the least value is 7. So likewise, you want to prove your statement. I think next class onwards, actually, will follow the actual theory of computation. I'd like to tell about what kind of paper this is. Actually, this is a mathematical paper. You need not to write any kind of theory here. So you should give more importance to study this paper. That is why we are requesting you all to uh, you should give more importance to this paper like your mathematics. Hello. Any doubts? So tomorrow I'll be asking some questions. You want to type answers for questions, whatever I'll be asking, in chat box. It should be actually interactive session. Then only we'll be going in a right way. Otherwise, it's a kind of one-way communication. So please be respond to the questions. You can use your chat boxes. At the end of every session, 15 minutes, the time will be allotted to question and answering. But if you are keeping silence means we can't do anything for you. So you have to be like you have to ask more questions hereafter. Okay, guys, thank you for your support. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Students, Bharat, actually, Bharat, yes. Sorry, the Bharat, yes. ஸோ ஆக்சுவலாக 2 பரத் இருக்கிறீங்க. பரத் எஸ், பரத் எஸ். ஸோ போஸ்ட் பண்ணுறீங்களா உங்களுடைய ரோல்